Welcome back again, and let's talk about this article that is so stupid that I don't know who could even believe something like that, or who could even write something like that. So I had to check the numbers 2 or 3 times just to make sure that this is what they are saying and that they are trying to convince us that this is the truth. So this article is saying that 7.95% of Americans own cryptocurrencies. And this article was done on only 2001 person of all of the ages, from young to old, so probably from like 18 to 60 years of age. And when you have something that is done only on 2001 person, that's not enough to do research. Because if you do that research in Silicon Valley, of course the number is going to be a lot higher than if you spread that out to many different regions. So 7.95% of Americans own cryptocurrencies. And that is not only Bitcoin. So you have this chart right here that says that 5.50% of the people that they tested owned Bitcoin and 0.90% owned Bitcoin Cash. So this is where it started to get really weird, because a lot of those people probably got Bitcoin Cash after the fork happened. So I'm not sure if so many of them actually sold Bitcoin Cash or if they just bought Bitcoin after the fork happened. So 0.45% on Cardano, 1.8% on Ethereum, Ripple, Stellar Lumens, and other all below 1%. And I also have problem with this chart right here. Actually, I have a few of the problems, and the first one is, why is there no Litecoin on this chart? You're trying to tell me that Coinbase, which has Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and Ethereum, and it is the most popular in the US and in the world, didn't sell more Litecoin than some of the other exchanges sold Cardano or Stellar Lumens. And this is so strange, because a lot of the people bought Litecoin when it was below $100 because they didn't even know that you can buy just small pieces of Bitcoin or Ethereum, and Litecoin seemed really cheap to them, and that's why they bought it. They said, maybe I have $100 to invest in, and what else can I buy except Litecoin? So they went with Litecoin. And that that more people own Cardano or Stellar Lumens than own something like Litecoin is really strange to hear. And we're going to come back to this chart later on, but first let's go here. So when they did this study on the genders, how many men and how many female own cryptocurrencies, you can see that 4.27% of the women said that they own cryptocurrencies, while 11.86% of the men said that they own cryptocurrencies. And this just cannot be true, because 99% of my viewers are male, while only 1% of viewers are female. And if you're trying to tell me that only 3 times more men own cryptocurrencies than women own cryptocurrencies, then I should probably have at least like 33 or like 25% of the female viewership, which is so far from the truth that I'm getting only 1% of the female viewership. That I just don't know how they did that and how was that test really done. And a lot of the people said that it is too complicated to understand, so that's why they don't use it. It is too difficult to use, and some of them even said it's a scam and too many fees, which is not the case anymore. There is no need, or they are disinterested. Okay, I can understand that. That was 44% of the people, that they are not interested in that. This is just not something that they even care about, but they will probably be using the cryptocurrencies and all of that protocols that are developed without even knowing about them. Just like now when you use internet, you don't know what kind of protocols you are using, and it is so complicated, so many things that happen in the background that you don't even know are happening, and you are using them even though if you are not interested in them. It's a bubble that's at 9.93%. Okay, that's fine. Maybe they're just waiting for better times for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies to drop so they can buy then. I can understand that. It's too high of a risk. And I can also understand that, yes, this is really risky what we are doing right now, investing into cryptocurrencies. But it is also a calculated risk. It is not just like when you go to a casino and say, okay, I'm gonna put $1,000 on blackjack. And if if I win, then I win. If I don't win, well, what can you do? It's not just like that, because you never lose 100% of your holdings. Even if some coin is a scam like BitConnect was, you can see that it is still trading like at $1, so you can never actually lose everything, and not even one cryptocurrency goes to something like zero, because somebody will always be willing to pay maybe like $1 or a cent per cryptocurrency. And now let's go back to this chart that we started with. So if 7.95% of the people in US would actually own cryptocurrency, and the US has 325 million people, and if we take 7.95% of that, we get 25.83 million people. And if 25.83 million people in US would actually own cryptocurrencies with the average amount that they said that they have, which is $3,500. So the average amount that they said, the people that they tested, was $3,500, which is so insane. That would mean that just people in the US actually own 12.5 million bitcoins, because for $3,500 you can get half of a bitcoin. And if just US would own 12.5 million bitcoins, then that would mean that they own all of the bitcoins in the circulations. Because if you go to the CoinMarketCap and then you go to the Bitcoin, you can see that there is 16.9 million Bitcoins in the circulation. But a lot of those Bitcoins are lost, and more are lost every single day. So 12.5 million could be something that is in the hands of people that they have private keys or that they have them on exchanges, but at least like 4 million Bitcoins are lost forever, because just Satoshi Nakamoto has like a 1 million Bitcoins which are maybe lost forever because they didn't move for so long time. So whoever wrote this article doesn't really know what he's talking about, because that just cannot be the case, that 5.15% of the Americans own Bitcoin, and I don't believe that 5.15% in any nation in the world of the people actually owns cryptocurrencies. It is most likely like below 1%, because that would mean that 1 person in 20 owns Bitcoin and like 1 in 12 owns some cryptocurrencies. And so many people still even don't have the internet, they don't even know how to use it, and they maybe did hear about Bitcoin, but they do not understand it. And why would so many people bought Bitcoin if they really don't understand what is it and what they are doing? Maybe they just wanted to test how all that works, but then the average amount wouldn't be $3,500 invested, because that is something huge. Like people's cars cost $3,500. You wouldn't just invest that money into something that you do not understand and say, well, I did it just for fun and let's see how it goes. No, that's not how it works. And to me, it just looks like that they went on the street and asked people, do you own Bitcoin? And maybe a person said, yeah, well, I do. And they asked, how much Bitcoin do you own? Like, I don't know, like 100 Bitcoin. And okay, one person maybe said 100 Bitcoin, but maybe like 100 other people said, I own like 0.1 Bitcoin. And then if you average that out, of course, it gets to like $3,500, but this is still just so insane that I just do not agree with that, and I still believe that we are below 1% of the people in the world to own any cryptocurrencies of any amount. So, thank you guys for watching this video. Let me know what do you think about it, and what do you think the percentage of the people in the US or anywhere in the world is that own any cryptocurrencies. See you soon again, and bye.